Hi, everybody. This is Mike Messier here on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. I have this new show that we're doing, the Messier World, and we're interviewing people that I find interesting. Today, we're going to have DM Needom, DM, also known as Donna. I think I'll call her Donna today. Donna hosts her own podcast called the Better To podcast series that I was actually a guest on. In addition to which, she also is a published author. She's got several books and the Better to Burnout series. So, in my interpretation of that, the Better to Burnout series, I always think of the character of the Kurgan in the movie Highlander from 1986. And he has a famous quote: "It's better to burn out than to fade away. I've got something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away." However, I found out later that is actually from Neil Young. Neil Young is obviously a famous recording artist who has his show or his music, and in one of his songs, the lyric "It's better to burn out than to fade away" comes into there. So as we're waiting for DM, I'm just going to put out an open call for new guests, people that have interesting stories, whether it's in film and media or holistic health, uh, anything. If you've got a story you want to talk about, feel free to leave a comment on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, and then we can talk about it right here. So now you might know that I'm also a writer myself. Many of you have purchased, and maybe more will, A Distance from Avalon, my book, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to interview the guest today, DM Needham, because she's got several books on Amazon. And I discovered that putting a book on Amazon was not as hard as I thought. It can be easily done. And there you go. So I enjoy it. I hope you do as well. Like I said, we're experimenting here with new technologies. I'm linking this up to YouTube and to LinkedIn. Hopefully, everything is going well. You might be able to leave a comment here on the live stream, and hopefully, I can see it. In fact, I'll check the old YouTube now to see if there's anyone commenting as we wait for our guests in just a few moments. Some interesting situations in the world, obviously. There's always good old fashioned politics. The Olympics are going on. I just saw, I believe, a French female martial artist. I believe it was Taekwondo, if I'm getting this correct, won a championship, won a gold medal over Japan. I guess that was a big upset. It's nice to see the Olympics. Am I a huge Olympics guy? No, but I do watch some of them, and I respect all these athletes. There is, I had a moment last night. Some friends were over, and we were watching, the Olympics, and they showed the women's gymnastic team, and those are terrific athletes, obviously. But they showed the people kind of watching them from their home, and not to pick on anybody, but sometimes I wish that people would get more inspired by the Olympic athletes. Like, let's go out and exercise ourselves, which I got to do as well. I've got to do that. We've all got to do that. But let's use these Olympic athletes, the conditioning, the training. If we just did a tenth of what they do, we'd all be in fantastic shape, physically. And with all the modern technologies of TV, so much Netflix and chill, everything that we do in the world, reading my book, A Distance from Avalon, sometimes it's it's a wonder. We have to use our own bodies too. We can't just be dependent on what's going on in the world with other people. We can't live vicariously through other people. We have to do things on our own with our own bodies. So I just kind of keep that in mind for you. So that's another thing. With this interview series, I want to have people have a good time, get to know these guests, get to know myself. What life lessons can you apply if you're watching to your own thing? Perhaps you want to write a book. Perhaps you want to do something creative with your life that you haven't done. And there's always time. Well, actually, there's not always time. Time is a wonderful thing because eventually it catches up to you, and you don't have any left. And you never know when that's going to happen, and when the end of anyone will be here. So I just keep that in mind, and and just do what you can. So, in any event, I hope all is going well in the world for you. For me, I just saw a recent movie, Jungle Cruise, with The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson as he's known. It's always interesting with Dwayne or The Rock. What is he going by? What's good for him at any given day. Uh, Emily Blunt, the female lead. I guess I'm becoming quite a fan between the Quiet Place films and now Jungle Cruise. And I was really kind of getting into this mindset of what's the difference between Naomi Watts and Emily Blunt. I mean, they're two different people, obviously, but to me, they're kind of filling the same niche. They look a little bit similar to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you look up Naomi Watts, great actress, who did some wonderful movies, 21 Grams and so forth. You look at Emily Blunt, they look very similar. So I, it's a very similar look of these two ladies. And that's just something to keep in mind, and look, they say that everybody's got a doppelganger, which is interesting. And, that's just an interesting thing. Mark Ruffalo is a guy who came under some stress from the Twitter feed world a few months ago. I think him and John Cena both had a couple of days where they both had made some statements about world politics and so forth. And I think it's interesting that we hold everybody so accountable to everything. We hold celebrities accountable to every statement they've ever made, every tweet they've ever had. And is that fair or not? I don't really know. I don't really know if that's fair, that we hold these celebrities accountable in ways that maybe it's not right, because they're actors or celebrities, singers. Are they world? They're not the Pope and they're not the president. You know what I mean? And I sometimes I wish we held the people that we actually elect into office on the same standard we hold Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? Or whoever. I mean, we you know what I mean? So I just find it interesting that in our society, that's what we do. And just kind of a interesting thing to me. Maybe to you as well. Other things going on in the world, like I said, those escapism, that's something for me that I enjoy. I enjoy going to amusement parks, movie theaters. Movie theaters to me are the best. You kind of see this content on a huge screen, and it's just a lot of fun. So I enjoy going to the movies. I always encourage people to go to the films. So I hope that you are enjoying everything this weekend. It is hot where I am, and I'm wondering if you're enjoying the heat as well. A lot of people don't like the summer. A lot of people do. I kind of mixed about the summer. In a lot of ways, I'm not comfortable no matter what the temperature is. To be honest with you, I moved here to Florida to avoid New England winters, but then you get hit with the Florida summers. Now, for whatever reason, last summer, maybe it was just because of our adrenaline rush of the whole COVID thing, but I was able to kind of get through the summer without even really thinking about it. This year, the heat is kind of hitting me a little bit harder. Uh, so it's just a tougher thing. You know what I mean? It's just a tougher thing when the summer comes, and you just have to deal with it. You just have to go outside. So okay, folks, it looks like our guest is having a little bit of a we had a little bit of a miscommunication somehow with what time the show is on the air, and it looks like she's not going to be available for this. So let's see. Okay, folks, we're going to end here apparently. And that'll be it. Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Let's start over. I'm going to kill that. I was just babbling for 12 minutes, so let me just kill that and I'll start a new one.
Okay.